In this video, I'm going to show you how we fix leash reactivity in dogs. So this is Zeke. He is a 2-year-old German Shepherd, and before we started the training, he was leash reactive towards other dogs. So whenever he saw dogs out on the walk, he would fixate, he'd bark, he'd lunge, he'd pull towards them, and he'd show all that reactive behavior. This behavior is often mistaken for aggression, especially when it's a big, scary German Shepherd. But Zeke is not aggressive at all. He's actually fairly social towards other dogs. It's just when the leash is on, he wants to go and engage, and it holds him back, and he gets frustrated, and he shows all that reactivity. So this is Zeke after our training program, and as you can see, it's almost like he's a completely different dog. Not only did we fix the reactivity, but we also trained him to be 100% obedient on leash or off leash anywhere around any distraction, whether that be dogs, kids, bicycles, ducks, squirrels, rabbits, whatever it is. He's 100% obedient, and he's able to make good decisions around those things on his own without the handler needing to micromanage him all the time. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what we did to achieve this picture with Zeke, and specifically I'm going to show you how we fix his leash reactivity towards other dogs. So let's get into the video. So before I show you the what we did to fix the leash reactivity with Zeke, and before I show you the session clips and all that, I need you to understand the why. I need you to understand why your dog is leash reactive, why they select that behavior, why we fix it the way that we do, right? I need you to understand everything from a theoretical standpoint, because if you go out and you try to fix your dog's leash reactivity without understanding the why, you're already fucked before you started. So make sure you watch this section before you get into the what. The video you're watching right now was taken directly from our online training program. So if you like this video, if you like the way we train, check out our training program. It's the first link in the description. So here's what we know about Zeke. Here's what I knew about Zeke when we started the training. Zeke is a 2-year-old male German Shepherd. The handler has had him since he was a puppy. She has done only positive only training up to this point. So positive only, force-free training, no corrections, just a harness, all of that stuff, right? He knows the basic commands. So she's laid like a basic foundation with him, just positive reinforcement, right? So he knows sit, he knows down, he knows calm, he knows the basics. He's not aggressive. So he's never bit anyone, he's never harmed another dog, none of that stuff. He's not aggressive. He's actually fairly social with other dogs, and he's more indifferent towards people. Now, here are the seen problems. These are the visible problems that people see and they want to get help with, right? So, first thing, we notice that there is no reliability in the behaviors at all. So outside around distractions, it's like the handler doesn't even exist. The command is in one ear and out the other. It's just non-existent. Whenever you tell him to do something, you give him a command, he thinks to himself like, should I do it? You know, am I motivated? Is there something in it for me? You know, do you have a treat? Do you have a ball? No? Okay, I'm just going to smell around. I'm just going to go chase after that dog. I'm just going to go, chase after that bunny, whatever it is. There's no obligation in the obedience. And this is really common for the positive only trained dogs, is because positive only training relies solely on motivation. So obviously, when you run into competing motivators, you're fucked. So, there's no reliability in the behaviors. He's leash reactive towards other dogs. This was the big one. So whenever he saw another dog out on the walk, he would be barking, lunging, fixating, pulling, all towards the other dog. Whenever he saw the dog, he would just show all of that reactive behavior. Now, leash reactivity is when your dog is reactive on a leash, but not necessarily reactive off a leash, right? Or the leash makes them significantly more reactive. Right? And we'll talk about why that is in a little bit, but he is leash reactive towards other dogs. So off a leash, he's like actually not bad. He's actually not, he doesn't show all of that reactive behavior, but on the leash, that's where it really gets him. He's also reactive towards wildlife. So towards ducks, squirrels, rabbits, he'll chase after them, right? He just laser focuses on them whenever he sees them, and he'll just completely break whatever he's doing to go and chase after it. He pulls on the leash. That's a big one. So he's a big, strong dog, and he drags his handler around. Can't have that. That's a big scene problem. And he also ignores commands around distractions, right? Kind of like the first one. So here are the unseen problems. These are things that I notice as a dog trainer when I am looking at the dog and I'm looking at the handler. So he has a complete lack of impulse control. Just impulse control is non-existent. It's just not even there. He sees something, he does it. He sees it. Happens. There is no layer there between thought and action. It just happens, right? It's just stimulus response. He just sees it, does it, sees it, does it. I'm gonna go this way, I do it. I'm gonna do it, I do it, right? I'm gonna bark, I do it. And there's no There is nothing there. There is zero impulse control with this dog. So that's what I see right off the hop. He also has zero respect for the handler. Zero respect. Just a complete disregard for the handler entirely, right? Like, he's barking, lunging, showing all of this reactive behavior, and he just completely ignores the handler. The handler gives him commands, completely blows them off. So just zero respect for the handler. That's a big thing that I notice as well. I also see just a dog who lacks structure and lacks guidance, or he lacks direction, right? He's your classic young German Shepherd, confident, who's just grown up in the world and figured out how to deal with it on his own, right? He just does stuff that's reinforcing, and he just lacks structure and guidance to live in the world productively in a way that we deem productive, right? Now let's talk a little bit about the handler. So these are all things that I take note of as well. So the first thing that I note about the handler is she's motivated. She is motivated to fix the problem. She wants to fix it ASAP, okay? She has a dream. She has 2 German Shepherds, right? Both have their own unique set of problems. The other dog is Corsair. You'll see the video a little later. And she has a dream. She wants both of her dogs to be off-leash trained. That is her dream. That's her goal, right? And I hear that right in the beginning, right when we start talking. She's committed. She's willing to put in the work. This is a really, really big one, right? Because what I'm basically doing here is I'm trying to figure out if this handler has what it takes to fix the problem, if they're actually going to do the work, right? And I see right away, okay, this handler is committed. She is willing to put in the work. And it becomes very apparent to me that this handler has all of the right things. She was just acting on the wrong information, right? She was just acting on the wrong information. That's it. Like, it's not like she wasn't putting in the work. She was. Right? She was putting in the work every single day with both of her dogs. She was just doing the wrong things. She was acting on the wrong information, and she realized that the information she was acting on wasn't going to get her to the goals. So something had to change, and that's why she sought help, right? So that's just a little bit about the dog and the handler. Why am I telling you this stuff? Why is it important that you know? It's important that you know this stuff, especially about the handler, because not everybody has what it takes to fix their dog's reactivity. That's just the truth. Not everybody has what it takes to fix their dog's reactivity. It just is what it is, right? There is a very specific type of person who has what it takes to fix it. And not just to fix it in the short term, not just like with the trainer, you fix it in the session and okay, he's a little better now. I mean, completely eliminate it over the long run. Lifetime of the dog. There's a certain type of person that's able to achieve that, and not everybody is that person. If you're watching this video and you're in this course, you're probably that person, right? But the reason I'm telling you this is because she was able to fix this. It's really important that you know that I didn't fix it. I did not fix Zeke's leash reactivity, right? I did not train him to be off leash. I did not do that. She did it. She was the one that woke up every day and trained the dog. She was the one that did the reactivity training. She was the one that went to the park and sought out distractions and trained him every single day. She was the one that played with him. She was the one that fed him. She was the one that did all of the training, all of the work. She did it. I didn't do it, right? So when you are working with your reactive dog, it's important that you understand that as well. There's no magic trainer or magic video that's going to pop up and solve your problems for you. You've got to be the person who does it. And she was that person, right? So that's why I'm telling you this, because you have to realize too that if you have a reactive dog, you were the one that created that. Right? It was things that you weren't doing or you were doing that created that picture to begin with. So in order to get a different outcome, in order to change your dog's behavior, you have to change your behavior, right? And not everybody's willing to change their behavior, right? So that's that, okay? So that's a little bit about Zeke and about the handler. Now that we've established that, let's go ahead and take Zeke through our 8-step reactivity framework, all right? So I'm assuming you've watched this video already, and let's go ahead and plug all the pieces into play. So let's identify the problem, the root cause, and the goals for Zeke. So before we start fixing it, we first must identify the problem. What is it? Well, for Zeke, we know that the problem is he's leash reactive towards dogs and he's reactive towards wildlife, but we'll focus on the dogs, right? So he's leash reactive towards dogs. What is the root cause of that behavior for Zeke, right? What is the root cause of it? Because remember, reactivity is always a symptom of some underlying root cause. So what's the root cause? Well, all you have to do to figure this out is ask yourself, what does your dog get out of exhibiting this behavior? What do they get from the reactivity? What do they get out of it? They wouldn't do it if it wasn't reinforcing, right? So what does your dog get out of it? For Zeke, his reactivity towards other dogs is frustration based, right? So when he's on that leash, he wants to go interact with the other dog because he lacks impulse control. So he wants to go interact with the other dog. He sees the other dog. He sees reinforcement. He wants to go interact with it. And that leash holds him back. It holds him back. And that backwards tension creates that forward display of reactivity. He's barking. He's lunging because he gets frustrated because he wants to get to the thing and he can't get to the thing. And it comes out in the form of that reactivity. And for Zeke, he likes that. That reactivity, that barking, that lunging, all of that reactive behavior, he gets off on that. He likes that. He finds that reinforcing. Now, not every dog is like this, right? For some dogs, their reactivity is more rooted in fear, insecurity, like anxiety, like they want to keep the other dog away. Not Zeke. Zeke wants to go to the other dog, but that leash is holding him back and it pisses him off. So he reacts and he likes reacting. He likes barking. He likes lunging. He gets a kick out of it, right? That's his reinforcement in this equation here. That's his root cause. So what's the goal for Zeke? Well, obviously, we want him to be as neutral as possible towards these stimuli and or capable of making good decisions around them without handler interference. So we just want him to be able to walk past dogs. We want him to be able to walk past stranger dogs, not barking and lunging, not breaking obedience, not acting like an idiot. We just want him to walk past and keep on moving, right? That's what we're after. Just neutrality, right? Able to make good choices around them. Ignore them. Don't engage with them. So now that we've identified the problem, the root cause, and the goals, let's move on to the next step. So the next step of the training is to forget the past and take accountability. So, before I mention, do this with your dog, right? Identify the problem, the root cause, and the goal. Next step, forget the past and take accountability, right? So a lot of people fall into the trap of blaming the past or blaming others. Don't be one of those people, okay? Don't live in the past. Wherever you point the finger of blame is where the power goes to. So if you blame, oh, this trainer screwed me over, oh, this, the breeder, oh, this event, this guy at the dog park, his dog, this happened, this event, right? Whatever it is, don't point the finger of blame at anything else except you. All right? Because the second you point the finger of blame towards other stuff, that's where the power goes, right? All the power goes to that one idiot that let his dog off leash, and now your dog's this one guy or your husband or your kids, right? Whatever it is, right? Don't point the finger of blame anywhere else except yourself. In order to fix the reactivity, you have to point the finger yourself, take full responsibility, take full accountability for where your dog is at. You have to recognize that all of your dog's problems are because of what you did, right? Even if they weren't, accept it anyways. It's my fault. I should have known better. There's something that I should have done differently or I shouldn't have done in the first place. It's your fault. You have to take that accountability. It's really, really important. Step 3, relationship restructure. So now that you've taken accountability and you're like, all right, it's my fault. I've got to change. I've got to do something different. Now you can change. So relationship restructure. If your dog is reactive towards other dogs, your relationship is not good, okay? There's no two ways about it. You do not have a good relationship with your dog. I've never seen someone who has a perfect relationship with their dog and their dog is also reactive. No. Those two do not go together, right? It's impossible for those to go together. So if your dog is reactive towards other dogs, your dog is barking, lunging, all of that stuff like Zeke, then it means you need to restructure your relationship. You need to change the way your dog perceives you in their lives. You need to change the way that you communicate with your dog on an everyday basis, how you live with them, how you interact with them, right? Everything needs to change. A lot of people they'll almost like overlook this part. Like they'll be like, okay, I just want to fix the I just want to fix the reactivity. Like, that's it. That's not how it works. All right? That's not how it works. You don't just fix the reactivity in isolation and expect everything else to, like, here's what it is. Imagine it like the way you're living with your dog is just like this bed of weeds, okay? And these weeds are popping up, and there's this one big weed, which is the reactivity, and you just hack the weed. And you expect this just weedy garden bed to not produce any more weeds, or for the not one big weed to come back, right? If you want to fix the reactivity, you've got to restructure everything. Take out all the dirt, put fresh new soil in, restructure everything. Like, you can't expect to fix the reactivity and then ignore all of the conditions that created the reactivity in the first place and then expect the reactivity not to come back. It just doesn't make any sense. So make sure you either watch or rewatch the Relationship and Grounds Rules module, and where I show you how to have a healthy relationship with your dog. Implement it. Step 4, obedience and play. So you need to have a basic way to communicate with your dog, right? And the easiest way to do that is through obedience and through play. Obedience and play, the dog learns how to communicate with you and you learn how to communicate with them. I think this is important to have before you begin the reactivity training, right? So make sure you do this. Go through core, do the loose leash walking, right? If you're watching this module right now, I'm assuming that you've already watched the loose leash walking module, right? If you haven't watched the loose leash walking module yet, you shouldn't be watching this video. Go and watch the loose leash walking module, implement it with your dog, get everything perfect. The loose leash walking needs to be flawless, and then you can go on with the reactivity training. So this is the very first session that we ever did with Zeke. We haven't done any work before this, and the first order of business at this session is we need to fix the loose leash walking, all right? We've got to fix the loose leash walking because that's what's going to put him in a receptive state of mind and allow us to change the reactive behavior, all right? So that's the first thing we need to do. The second thing we need to do is fix the reactivity towards other dogs. So that's the game plan for this session. Let's get into it. Zeke here is a little bit rambunctious, a little crazy. When he sees other dogs, he gets very aroused, right? He's got a lot of drive. So when he sees something that he wants to get to, he wants to get to it, obviously. And then when he can't get to it, he gets very frustrated, right? And then all that frustration, all that pent-up arousal just comes out in the reactivity, right? So with Zeke, it's going to be really important that we dial in the loose leash walking and build the respect on the leash for the handler, okay? Because we're not going to have any hope at trying to communicate to him when he's in close proximity to another dog, right? So what we're going to do is we have other dog over there on the place board, and we're going to work over here at a distance and just get the loose leash walking dialed in, build the respect for the handler, stop all this stuff, and then just stop all the nonsense, right? And then we're gonna start working around the other dog and then start going from there, okay? All right, Zeke, it's time for you. So we're gonna walk over here, create some space, and if he hits the end of the leash, he hits the end. Right there. Right, so right off the hop, I'm gonna use a lot more pressure than I did with his sister because he's just that type of guy, okay? Good. So he just has, just lacks impulse control, right? Whatever he wants to do, he just goes and does it, right? And he's so strong that usually he just kind of gets his way, like right there. He just decides, I'm leaving, right? Like right there. Right? He just, I'm leaving. You're not leaving. Good boy. Nice one. Good work, buddy. All right, so I'm just making sure the loose leash walking is perfect before we start the reactivity stuff, because I need to make sure I'm in his head. I need to make sure that he's thinking clearly, right? Before, he wasn't even thinking. He was just in arousal, and he was just out of it. So he's doing pretty good in the loose leash walking, yeah? Yeah. Good. So he's in you're in his head. He's paying attention. You're starting to build some respect on the leash, right? Establishing a system of consequences. Good. Now for his reactivity, right, we understand that his is more rooted in arousal, frustration, excitement, right? He basically just wants to get to the thing, and he gets frustrated when he's held back. Good. So what we need to do is, for him, we need to teach him that he cannot generate arousal towards things in the environment, right? Dogs, stranger dogs like that you see on walks, are not something to generate arousal towards, right? What I want you to do with him is, or what I want for him, is I want him to understand that things in the environment, dogs, people, bikes, cars, whatever, are all just neutral. Don't generate arousal towards those things. Arousal will be directed towards you when you play with them, right? That's the outlet. That's where you satisfy the drive, right? It's with you. It's not with all these things in the environment, okay? For many dogs, this is all it takes. Like, you fix the relationship, you do the obedience and play, you do the loose leash walking, and then the reactivity completely goes away on its own. For a lot of dogs, that's the case, right? But not for every dog. So once you're ready to fix the reactivity, here's what we do. So 3-term contingency, you already know what this is because you've watched the How Dogs Learn and Think module in the foundation and core. And let's plug in the pieces. So we have the stimulus, we have the behavior response, and we have the reinforcer or the punisher. This gives us the 3-term contingency. Now let's plug Zeke in. So for Zeke, it's another dog. His behavior response is to bark and lunge. That behavior is self-reinforcing for Zeke. He likes barking and lunging. That's just what he likes. He likes doing it. He likes that reactive display. He likes doing that behavior, right? And that in and of itself is enough to continue the behavior, right? It's enough reinforcement for him to select this behavior again in the future. Dogs have these self-reinforcing behaviors, remember, right? Things like barking, things like chasing, things like digging. These are all self-reinforcing behaviors. So even if there's not a prize at the end, so to speak, it's enough to keep going. Just the behavior in and of itself is reinforcing enough to continue. So for Zeke, that's what his 3-term contingency is. So in order to change Zeke's 3-term contingency, if we want that behavior response to be neutrality, right? If we want to substitute the barking and lunging for neutral behaviors, neutrality, how do we do that? Well, here's how. So step 5 of the reactivity process is freedom of response, all right? And you'll see us do this in the session itself, all right? So I have my dog out, Zeke's out, and we just let him see the dog, right? Complete freedom of response. When we see the dog, we just release him and we let him do whatever he wants to do. It's his move completely. He gets to decide. And we do not make the decision for him, right? We release the dog so they're just on a loose leash with complete freedom of how to respond. It's his move. That's what we do, all right? Because we're trying to change the 3-term contingency, all right? So he has to have freedom of response, obviously. So what do we do now that he has freedom of response? Well, contingent punishment and contingent reinforcement. So depending on his behavior response, we're either going to punish that behavior or we're going to reinforce it, all right? So contingent punishment, let's talk about that first. So if the dog offers an undesirable behavior response, by that I mean the barking, the lunging, the fixating, all of that stuff, right? Undesirable behavior response, we don't like it, we want it to stop. We are going to punish that behavior. How do we do that? We mark the behavior with no, followed by a hard leash correction at a punishment level. You guys have done the loose leash walking already, and you know the loose leash walking punishment level is like down here, right? Just over this red line. But for the reactive behavior, we need to be all the way up here. Big punishment for that behavior, right? So that's where we need to be, marked by the red X here. We mark it with no and a firm leash correction at this level here. You might be wondering, how hard is that? Like, how hard do I need to pop? How much pressure do I need? It's not about how much pressure. It's about the behavior response of the dog. Your dog decides what's punishing, right? You don't get to choose what's punishing for your dog. Your dog decides. So you need to learn how to read your dog's behavior response when you apply the pressure. Just like with the loose leash walking, right? You start out low, you work your way up, you're like, okay, that's the punishment response for my dog in loose leash walking on this walk, right? And for the reactivity, you've got to do the same thing. But here's how you know you punished the behavior properly. You know you punished it properly when you see complete suppression in the behavior and in the body language of the dog. Suppression means to forcibly put an end to. So if you correct your dog and they keep on reacting, then you didn't punish anything. You accidentally probably negatively reinforce the reactivity, right? Has that ever happened to you, right? Your dog is barking, lunging, you correct your dog on the leash, right? And they just become worse. They become more reactive. You're negatively reinforcing it. You're not punishing anything. You haven't even crossed this line, right? So you need to escalate the pressure. For most dogs, in order to do this, we use a prong collar or a choke chain to punish the reactive behavior because these tools gives us leverage. If you're working on a tool like a flat collar or something, you literally can't cross over this line. So you need a tool that can cross over the line. I do not recommend using the e-collar to punish reactivity. There's just too many mistakes you can make. There's too much room for handler error, and there's too much work that you have to do beforehand. Do not use an e-collar to punish the reactivity. It was a bad idea, all right? Use a prong collar or a choke chain. For most dogs, I recommend the prong collar, all right? That's what we use for Zeke. So that's how we do it, okay? He offers the undesirable behavior. The moment he does it, we mark it with no, and then we punish the behavior on the leash. And important note, when we mark the behavior with no, we're doing a couple things. We're not only marking the behavior to make it clear, but we're also putting social pressure on the dog, right? Social pressure. We are letting him know that we are not okay with that behavior, right? And do not underestimate the power of social pressure. Many dogs they're just physically resilient dogs, right? You got these big, strong dogs. They're physically resilient. Like, you can put all the physical pressure in the world on them, and it's like you barely get the punishment level, right? But for these same dogs, you put the social pressure on them. No, do not do that, right? Pop, pop. And now all of a sudden, the social pressure amplifies the physical pressure. So that's the purpose of marking it with no, right? Not only does it build a clarity, right? Because you can mark the behavior in a timely, effective way, but it also puts the social pressure on the dog, and it lets them know that you are not okay with that behavior. Next thing is contingent reinforcement. So, the dog makes the wrong choice. We punish the behavior. We see suppression in the behavior. The behavior immediately completely stops, right? That's what you should see. Your dog gets reactive. Roo, 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 roo. No. Punishment. Done. Right? Visibly suppressed. Holy shit. What am I supposed to do? That's what you should see. Now is your opportunity to fill that hole, because you have to understand, when you punish a behavior, all you're doing is you're buying yourself time to then fill that hole, the behavior response, with something more desirable, all right? You cannot just punish the dog and then not fill the hole, right? You can't do that. If you do that, the reactivity is just going to keep coming back, because that's the only thing the dog knows how to do, right? If we did that for Zeke, like Zeke starts barking at a dog, we punish it, and then he's like, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do, right? He doesn't know, because in his mind, he just always barks and lunges at dogs. It just always leads to reinforcement. He doesn't know it's bad. He doesn't know he shouldn't be doing that, right? It just always leads to reinforcement. It's just what he does, right? So if we go and punish the behavior all of a sudden, now this behavior that led to reinforcement all of a sudden leads to punishment. He's going to be like, whoa, what am I supposed to do around other dogs now? And that's your opportunity to show him what you expect him to do around other dogs, right? That's where you're going to be reinforcing desirable behaviors. So if your dog offers a desirable behavior towards the stimulus, we reinforce the behavior. Oftentimes, we're looking to reinforce neutral behaviors towards the stimulus, like looking at the stimulus, looking away, looking at you, completely ignoring the stimulus altogether, and so on, right? And what we need to do is we need to, just like the punishment, we need to mark the behavior with a mark. So we use chirp, right? So you need to mark the behavior with chirp to mark the exact behavior that you like, and then pay the dog with high value treats, right? Boiled chicken, hot dogs, string cheese. I like bringing out the heavy hitters for this, because reactivity can be a stressful thing for the dog when we all of a sudden punish this reactive behavior. It can be kind of stressful. So the reinforcement, in order to balance out the dog's emotion, I like bringing it up to make them more motivated, right? And if the dog likes to play, sometimes we'll reward them with a game of tug, we'll bring their toy out, and so on, right? So behaviors that we're looking for, by the way, is little things. Things like ignoring the dog altogether. They look at the dog, they break focus, they disengage. Chip, reward that. They look at the dog, look up at you, chip, reinforce that, right? The other dog barks or something, they just ignore it altogether. Chip, reward that, right? So all of these neutral behaviors is what we're looking to reinforce. We're not looking to reinforce a direct alternate behavior. That's also really important, right? We don't just teach the dog to sit and look at you, and that's what gets the treat whenever they see a dog. We don't do that, right? We're trying to reinforce a just neutral response towards the other dog, not a direct alternate behavior. What you might notice at this point too is if the dog has low food drive or they're too stressed to take food, just use verbal praise and affection to let them know that they're doing awesome. So the theme that you're seeing here, guys, is we are just black and white in our communication, and we're extremely clear with the dog. There can be no doubt in the dog's mind what is acceptable and what is unacceptable. That's it. We're super black and white with them. Now that you've seen all that stuff and you've kind of got the game plan of what we're about to do with Zeke, I think you're ready now to jump into the actual session. So here's the plan. I'm gonna start at a distance, I'm gonna build engagement with him, and I'm gonna shrink the distance, and contingent reinforcement, contingent punishment. If he reacts, I'm gonna mark it with NO, and I'm gonna correct him on the leash, and I should see suppression of behavior, and then I'll just continue doing what we're doing, and I'll reinforce him with food, maybe even a ball at some point. I don't know, we'll see, okay? Okay. Good. I'm watching him very closely, seeing where his intent is. Good. Zeke. Yeah. Chip. Aye. There you go. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So you see like the arousal starting to pick up? And then now he's like, okay, I don't even really want the food. I'd rather just see what's going on here. So let me go ahead and move towards. Good. And we'll come back. Good. Good boy. Good. Nice work, man. Nice work. Okay, so it isn't really redirection because I'm not giving him a cue. Good. Nice. Redirection would be more like if I let him see the thing and I was like, Zeke. Good. Right? I'm trying to let him make his own choice though. Good. Good boy. Zeke. There we go. Good boy, man. Good job. Good. Now I'm prepared because I know he could take off after him at any moment. Good. Good boy. Nice. Good job, buddy. Zeke, sit. Chip. Good. Nice work, man. Nice work. Nice work. Okay. Golden. Good. Good boy. Hope not. Good. Good boy. Little kids running, I think was the thing. Good. Good boy. Good job, Zeke. Good job. Watching. Good. Good boy. I was ready there, right? Good. Good. I was ready there too. If he made any intent, if he acted on that, what he was doing there, I would have corrected him. Good. That's a good boy, Zeke. Good. What I'm trying to do is build up a bunch of just neutral reps where we walk past and literally nothing happens. No good or bad, just nothing. Good. Good. That's it. Good job, buddy. Good job. Zeke, sit. Sit. Good boy, man. Good job. Good job. And he gets a little decompressed, right? Good job, because he's doing so good. Yeah. And working through that stress. Good boy, man. Good boy. Yeah. 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 Good. Give, right? Give. Good. Good. Good boy. Good job, man. Good job. Give. Give. Good. Give. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Give. Give. That's it, buddy. That's it, buddy. Ay, good boy, man. Good boy. What you got? What you got? What you got? You got that ball, huh? You got that ball, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you got that. You got that. Good. Give. Good. Good. Sees me playing with his ball. Good. Okay. All right, little decompress there, right? Give him a space to relieve that arousal because it's all pent up. Good, and now we'll go back to the other dog, and other dogs are not something you generate arousal towards. If he does, I'm gonna put a stop to it. Good job, buddy. Good job, Zeke. Right there, little correction. Why did I correct him there? Because he just stopped what he was doing in his tracks and just turned to look at him, right? And I was walking. I wanted him to keep on moving with me. Good. That's a good boy, Zeke. That's a good boy. That's a good boy. Good. Good boy, Zeke. Yes. Good job, man. Good job. There, I reward him with food, okay? Good. 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 Good boy. Good. And then you can mark like right when he completes the U-turn if he hits it, right? And turn. Good. There you go. Good boy. Turn. Good. Very good. Nice. Excellent. Good work. Good. We'll do one more and then we'll make it a little bit more challenging. Nice. Good. No problem. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and release him just like I did with Corsair, and you'll just keep working him, okay? If he reacts at any point, if he starts to show up and show that arousal, mark it with no, and then correction, correction, right? As much as you need to do until you see suppression of behavior. With dogs like this, if you make pressure and it's not punishing, it's negatively reinforcing, you run the risk of making it worse. So like, you know, you make pressure and instead of showing suppression, he actually becomes more reactive, right? So it's better to overdo it than underdo it, especially with a dog like him. So when you say no, correct him with all the strength that you have, okay? And really let him know that that's not it. Okay, so now I'll release him, okay? Good boy, buddy. Good. Orbit sit. Nice. Uh-huh, not yet.
I can still give you a cookie.
Mm-hmm. Good. Heel. 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 No! There you go. Good. So there you see Zeke, he's like, oh, I'm just gonna like bark at the dog and see what happens. And there the handler marks it with no and then delivers a correction, right? Punishment level correction. Good. Now, was the technique perfect? No, the technique wasn't perfect. It could definitely use some work, but this is the first time she's doing it, right? So she's getting the hang of it. She's getting used to it. She's learning, right? Just like how you're gonna be learning as well when you do this with your dog. So if you make mistakes in the beginning, it's all right. Just learn from your mistakes, right? And improve. Get better the next rep and the next rep and the next rep. That's what it's all about, okay? So, was it perfect? No, but she was able to get the timing right, and now she can improve the technique later. And as you can see, when the dog has a punishment event, right, what do? After we punish the dog for that behavior, what do? We fill the hole. We fill the hole with all of the desired behavior responses, all of these neutral behaviors, all of these passes she's doing, all of the looks away, all of the looks up at her, all of the ignores the other dog, all of that stuff we are reinforcing heavily, right? We are filling that hole, creating clarity in the picture for the dog's mind, and creating clear communication and clear understanding of what we expect of him. Heel. Good. Thought about it, but he's trying. He's trying. Good. Good. Place. Good. Heel. Good. All right, now I'm gonna play with him. This is gonna be the toughest, okay? So get ready. I'll start at a distance. Okay. Good. We'll start kind of far and then we'll get closer and closer, okay? Good. There you go. Good boy. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. So I'll show you a good example of a missed correction opportunity, right? We definitely could have corrected him here. I just didn't see it. So right here, he sees the dog. There, right? He might not even see it, but his motor starts going a little bit. He gets a little excited, gets a little aroused because the other dog is running, right? There, we could have punished that and we would have created even more clarity for him, right? Any amount of that arousal there when he starts generating, walking a little fast, right? That we can punish. Good. Let go. There you go. Good. Let go. Let go. Let go. Let go. Place. Good. Good. Oh, oh, let go. Let go. Good. Good. We're gonna challenge him some more just like this, and then if he can master it, then we'll start playing with him, right? But he has to master this first. Ah, no. There you go. Good. Then keep going. Good. No. Good. Correction. Good. Now come back. Let go. Good. So that is just frustration, right? He's like, oh, that dog is making me frustrated and I'm here. You're like, good. Now we build the clarity. Don't bark at dogs when you get frustrated. Good. Let go. Good. There you go. There you go. He's starting to put the pieces together now, right? Good. Good. There you go. Good. Okay, now he's really starting to get it. Let go. He's starting to understand what we want from him, right? Let go.
Good boy.
Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Whoa. Good job. Let go. Let go. Let go. Place. All right, I'm gonna do a few little small tosses, okay? The running will really get him going, okay? So just be ready. Yep. Good job. Let go. Good. Let go. Around. No, right there, like that. Even, yeah, that too. Oh, was it a cough, like on treat? Oh, let go. I thought it was a woof. Come around. Good. Here we go. On this next one, I'll call it out. Let go. Come around. No! There you go. Good. Perfect. Over here. What did we correct there? We corrected his intent, his mindset. He saw the dog running and his motor start to get going. No. Punish him. Come back down, right? You are not allowed to generate arousal towards things in the environment, right? Let go. Come around. Good. And now we must build the clarity. Good. Good. Go. Come around. Good job, buddy. Nice job. There you go. Let go. Come around. Good. There you go. There you go. Now he's starting to figure it out, right? Good job. Let go. Good. Come around. Good. There you go. Good work. Good work. Go. Come around. Nice. Good job. Good job, buddy. Okay. Good. And now you can come towards us and you can play tug with him, right? Good. Arousal is something that you have between you and him, right? Good. Look at that. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There you go. So after all of that training and after all of that good impulse control that Zeke was showing, we finally give him an outlet, and you see how happy he is to have that outlet, right? So all of this is happening, guys, just because Zeke gets frustrated. Like, he wants to go and engage with the dog. He can't do it. He doesn't have any impulse control. We're now teaching him some impulse control. And he's like, oh, this is so difficult, right? I want to go to engage with the dog, but I can't, right? And then you see what happens when we give him an outlet. He just explodes into it, and he's like, finally, like, this is what I've been waiting for, right? And so what we need to do with Zeke is we need to teach him, like, okay, buddy, arousal is generated to the handler through play, right? And we're going to control the arousal in the structured play, right? So we're going to have some rules on the play, right? And this is how you satisfy it. This is how you release all of that drive. This is where you get that drive satisfaction. It's through the handler. It's not by reacting at dogs and lunging at them and barking at them. That's not productive, okay? This is productive. This is how it happens. And this is the picture that we're going to create for Zeke. Good. Now go ahead and just keep the toy. Don't give it to him, right? I'm going to have him chase the ball. Okay, you can release him though, get him out of the down. Don't let him have the toy though. If he goes after the toy, you just correct him. You can leave the toy out, leave it in your hand. If he goes after it, correct him on the leash, just pull up, say give, and then make pressure up. Good, nice, good. So you build some respect in the play, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna toss the ball, okay? He's gonna look, he's not gonna go probably, and then you're gonna reward him, okay? You can say chirp and then reward him with the toy, okay? Ready? Come around. Nice, very good. Nice one. Let go. Come around. Nice, very good. All right, tell him to give, make pressure. Good. Okay, here we go again. Ready? This is gonna be a tough one. Nice, good. There you go. Good, good. Good, there you go. Good job. Good boy. Let go. Nice one. Very good. Okay, now we're channeling his arousal, his drive towards you, right? That's where it's directed towards, not towards the environment, okay? If you start doing that, bad things happen, okay? You can't do that, especially a dog like him, all right? There you go. Nice. Nice. Very good. Yes. 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 Good job, man. Good job. Oh, yeah. Good. Good. There you go. Nice. You can see he's giving him the side eye a little bit, right? He's still a little concerned about him. That's okay. That'll fade out over time. Like, oh, yeah. Nice. Nice. And your reward. Nice. Good one. Good timing there. Good timing. You waited till he re-engaged with you. Good. Let go. Good. Down. Down. Place. Nice. Nice. Nice one. Let go. Yeah, very good. Nice one. All right, so this is the second session with Zeke. And in this session, what we're doing is we're continuing on the obedience training, all right? So remember how I said that reactivity is not solved in isolation, right? You got to fix the relationship, you got to do the obedience, you got to do the play too, in addition to solving the reactivity. All those things are important. So this is about a week later, and she's been working really hard on the reactivity. She's been going out, she's been passing dogs, she's really been working hard on it, right? And now it's time to get that obedience foundation in there, right? Reliable obedience in there. That way we can create an even clearer picture for the dog and advance him mentally, right? So that's what we're doing in this session here. I also bring my dog out again just to proof him, because why not? But we also really want to test his impulse control, as you can see here, right? His ball is like a big reinforcer for him. So just the fact that he can hold it around the ball is a really big deal for him, okay? So that's what we're doing here, making sure he's got the obedience. Then we bring out my dog again, and we just work on the reactivity some more. Okay, so you see how the obedience and the reactivity training are going hand in hand now.
Good boy.
So here I bring Orbit out, and you see Zeke's like a little curious. He's like, wait, I remember that dog from the last session, right? And he's just a little curious. And so we don't correct curiosity, right? If the dog's like kind of curious and like checking it out, we're not going to punish that. Like, you're not going to yell, no, and then come down on him like a freaking hammer, okay? Like, he's just a little curious. He's like, oh, what the heck is that dog? Oh, I think I remember that dog. And he's trying to get some air sniffs and stuff. So that stuff is fine. Like, yeah, he's a little aroused. Like, could you correct it? I guess you could correct it, but personally, I wouldn't correct it just because, I don't know, it would create a kind of a weird association in his mind. Like, you know, I want him to know that this dog is fine, and it's fine if he's looking at the dog. It's just he can't be reacting and lunging at it. You know what I mean? So that's what we're doing there. If he looks, if he's like excessively looking, you can give a couple big, right? There you go. Yep. Down. Nice. Get down. Good. Good job, buddy. There you go. Good. Good. Nice. There you go. Good. Good job, buddy. Good job. Down. Down. Good. There you go. I know this is hard. Good. Now reward him here. Good. And release him. Okay, get ready. Get ready. Nice. Oh, yeah. Where you at? Where you at? Where you at? Let go. Let go. Good job, buddy. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. Whoa. 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 There you go. There you go. Whoa. Let go. Down. Center. 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 Oh. Good. There you go. Good job. Oh God. Let go. Let go. Good. Good. You see how it's the arousal? Other dog gets him aroused. He starts to build up, and then he starts to make mistakes, and the reactivity starts coming into play, right? It's the arousal. We just have to work on keeping him in a low state of arousal. These dogs here, these two reactive dogs here maybe. Step off in the grass. This will be good. Good. Just let him decide what to do. Good. Let go. Good. Nice. Toward that. Good. Come around. Whoa. 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 Good job. Let go. Come on. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Yes. Let's go ahead and put him in the down right here. Let go. Let go. Good. Down. Come around. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Good. Nice one. Nice one. You think so? There you go. Yeah. There you go. Hold that down. Good. Good. Yeah. 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 Good. Punish the barking on the next one. If he does it again, just mark it with no and then just correct him. You can grab the leash and then correct him. Good. Whoa. 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 Oi. Wow. Wow, buddy. Wow, buddy. Oh, buddy. Let go. Down. Good.
Good boy.
Good. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Good job, buddy. Yeah. Good. There you go. Good job. Let go. Down. There you go. Got a dog right here. Good. Good. Take him out of the heel. Take him out of the heel. Just release him. The sense he gets cued in on. What you can do when he gets like into the sense like that, the sense will also build up his arousal like it. As the dog walked past, after the dog was past, you released him and he started catching the sounds like just all over the place. You can correct that. Good. It's like managing his arousal. Good. Come on. Good job, buddy. Good job, buddy. Oh, You bring that ball closer, and you reward him. Good job. Very good. Good. So we need to teach him that his arousal is generated towards you, right? Not towards these things in the environment. If you generate towards things in the environment, consequence, right? We're gonna cap it. But we're gonna give him an outlet to generate their arousal towards you. For him, it needs to be like, there are times when we're just doing obedience, like in the street, and that's like service dog energy. I need you to be very calm, and I'm gonna be very calm, and you're just using food and all that stuff. And there's also times where we're doing like more play obedience type stuff, which is a whole different energy. It's a different dynamic, but they don't mix. They're separate, right? Yeah, we need to give them both. So this is Zeke a few weeks later, and the handler has really been working hard going through all of the obedience training. She's been working through core training, which is our on-leash training program, and she's been taking him out around lots of distractions, lots of competing motivators, around other dogs. She's been doing all the obedience. She's been playing with him. She's been managing his arousal. She's been working on the reactivity. all of this stuff happens together, all at once, right? If you want to fix your reactive dog, that's what's required. It's all of these things that come together to form this complete picture. You don't just have one reactivity session and then all of a sudden the reactivity goes away. Like for some dogs, that's the case, but for most dogs, that's not the case. For most dogs, you have to show them a variety of contexts, lots of different situations to teach them that these new rules apply everywhere, all of the time, around every dog, always, right? So that's what she's been doing. She's really been putting in the work. This session that you're seeing is our very first Arcanine session with Zeke. So Arcanine, our off-leash training program, we're just doing some basic e-collar conditioning. We're doing some e-collar recalls, and we're just teaching him what the e-collar means, basically. Because now that he's already trained completely on a leash, now we can level up the obedience and start training him off-leash. So here's Zeke a few weeks later. We've been through Arcanine. This is his final Arcanine session, which is our off-leash training program, right? This is his last session, and at this session, what we do is we just take him to a high distraction spot, we take the leash off, and we fine-tune anything that needs fixing, right? Any issues that pop up, any last questions, right? We're just fine-tuning everything to make sure the handler knows what to do going forward. At this point, the dog is completely trained, and they're able to enjoy a lot more freedom, right? The dog's able to be a dog, they're able to explore, they're able to sniff around, we give them commands and they listen, and they've earned this freedom, right? We've taken them through the entire training program and they've proved to us that they can handle this freedom, and now we give it to them, right? And so that's what it's all about. Now, before I stop this video, I need to tell you guys about the most common mistakes that people make with their leash reactive dogs, okay? Because chances are you will make one of these mistakes at some point when you go to train this. Orbit heel. Good. If you want to be able to walk your dog off leash while maintaining complete control, just like this, check out our online training program. It's the first link in the description. So let's go through them. There are 7 common mistakes. So the first most common mistake is not actually punishing the behavior. All right, the behavior of reactivity. People will not actually punish it. Maybe they think they're punishing it, or maybe their intent is to punish it, but it doesn't matter what your intent or what you think is. Are you actually punishing it, right? When you punish the behavior, does your dog show immediate suppression in the behavior? Do they immediately stop the behavior and show that visible suppression in their body language? If not, you're not punishing anything. If your dog keeps on reacting and they don't stop reacting, like they don't, if you don't see the reactivity decreasing in frequency, you're not punishing anything, okay? It doesn't matter what you think you were doing, you're not punishing it appropriately, okay? Your dog tells you everything you need to know. Dog doesn't lie. So actually punish the behavior. So many people, they pussyfoot around the corrections and they half-ass it. And what happens if you go halfway, the reactivity will never resolve itself, right? You've got to go all the way. Actually punish the behavior. So that's the first thing. The second most common mistake I see people make is not reinforcing the desired behavior. So the exact opposite, right? Some people, they'll focus so heavily on the corrections and the punishment and the no and, and they'll focus too much on that and not enough on reinforcing the desired behavior. And you have to realize that if you only punish the reactivity is going to keep coming back because that's the only thing your dog knows how to do. And it's going to come back even worse, right? So you've got to fill it with the desired behavior response. You can't just punish the reactivity into oblivion. You've got to give the dog an alternative, all right? So make sure you're reinforcing desired behavior. Don't get lazy with it. The next most common mistake I see people make is not marking the behaviors properly, okay? So this goes for the rewards and for the corrections, all right? When you go to correct your dog, you need to mark the behavior with no, right? Make it loud, make it firm, make it timely, okay? Put the social pressure on the dog. A lot of people, what they'll do is some people will not even mark, right? Their dog will just react and they just suddenly just start correcting the dog out of nowhere with no mark at all. That creates no clarity for the dog. And it may create a suspicious association with the other dog because it's like, okay, they see the other dog and then all of a sudden they just get corrected, right? Like, what is that happening for? Where did that come from? You need the dog to know when you mark that behavior, you are marking their reactive behavior and the punishment is coming from you directly. You are not okay with them exhibiting that behavior. And it needs to be very clear from the dog's perspective. Okay, so make sure you're marking the behaviors properly. No, then correction, right? Mark comes first, then the consequence follows, right? If you're doing it right, you should start to see your dog, automatically stop the behavior right when they hear no. And even if they do that, it's still important to follow up with a correction, right? Because the no is loaded. Every time they hear the no, a punishment event is occurring, pressure is coming that they cannot escape, okay? So make sure you mark the behaviors. Same with the rewards, all right? Make sure you're marking the exact behavior you're trying to reinforce. So your dog looks at the dog, looks away, choop! Mark that exact behavior, right? Be very clear in your communication. The next most common mistake I see people make is not being consistent, right? What they'll do is some people, they'll get lazy, it's like sometimes they reward, sometimes they don't, sometimes they punish the dog, sometimes they don't, sometimes they go out walking and the dog is like on their flat collar instead of the prong collar. You gotta be consistent, all right? When you're setting expectations for the dog and you're holding them accountable, you've gotta be consistent with the rules, right? Otherwise your dog isn't gonna trust you. Because how confusing would that be for the dog if sometimes they bark and they get punished, and then sometimes they bark and nothing happens? That's weird. That's so confusing from the dog's perspective. You cannot do that, all right? That is how to damage your dog's trust 101. Punishing the dog for reacting is not going to damage their trust. What is you being inconsistent with everything, all right? That is going to damage your relationship and your trust with the dog. So make sure you be consistent with everything. The next most common mistake that people make is not being black and white in their communication, all right? So what this looks like is, the dog is reactive and they're like, no, correction, right? These little half-assed corrections, this half-assed no correction, right? Don't do that, okay? And then their rewards are like, good boy, good. What is that? Okay, be really clear with your dog. They do something bad, no correction, right? They do something good, good boy, yes, good job, buddy, right? Food, praise, affection, everything good, toys, right? Super black and white. You've got to be crystal clear with your dog and in your expectations, okay? So be black and white, as black and white as you can possibly be, all right? Next up, the next mistake people make is allowing the precursors to reactivity to persist, right? So the precursors are the things like fixating, stalking, growling, right? All of this stuff, you can't allow that stuff to persist and then just punish the full-blown outburst, right? You got to fix the precursors too. So that's really important. The next mistake people make, and the last one, is not addressing the underlying issue. Remember that reactivity is just a symptom of some underlying root cause, right? So for Zeke, his reactivity was just rooted in frustration, arousal, drive, right? And he just gets frustrated when he can't get the thing, okay? And he impulse control, all that stuff. So you fix the impulse control, all that, okay. And then what you need to do is you need to give him an outlet, all right? He's got to have a way to get all that arousal out, right? And so what's that outlet? For him, it's play with the handler, right? And so we give him that outlet and we address the underlying issue, right? You have a dog like Zeke, you can't just expect to fix the reactivity and then not give him an outlet. You've got to give him an outlet, right? This guy needs to play. He needs to work with the handler. He needs to bite stuff. He needs that, right? He needs to chase stuff. He needs it, right? And so you've got to give him that outlet, okay? So those are the most common mistakes that people make that I see. Action items. Here's what to do now that you finished watching this video, okay? So what I want you to do first, I need you to go outside and record a video of your dog reacting, okay? I need you to just let them react and let's see it, right? Let's see it firsthand without you interfering or doing anything with it. Let's just see what it's actually like. And then what I want you to do is go over to the community tab, click on the reactivity tab here, and then post that video of your dog's before reactivity and include a little description in there too. Just say okay, before reactivity, he usually reacts at this and sort of explain sort of the levels and what he usually reacts at and so on, okay? Include a little description so it's helpful. Then what I want you to do is apply what you learned in this video. So everything that you just learned in this video, I need you to go and apply it. Put in the work. Now, you probably don't have a control dog. Probably. Maybe you do. but probably not. So what you'll need to do is put yourself in an environment that's as controlled as possible, where you can control the variables as much as you can, right? So the best place to do this, in my opinion, is outside of a dog park. Okay, so find yourself a nice dog park, drive around, find a good one, go on a busy day, and then find one that has a nice fence that you can work on the other side of, right? So don't go in the dog park, stay outside the dog park and just work along the fence line while the other dogs are running around and, fighting each other and whatever they do in the dog parks, right? So that's what you want to do. If you don't have a dog park near you, you can go outside of like a pet store or something. Like, dogs come in and out of there. You can go outside of a grooming place. Dogs come in and out. So just be creative. Find a spot where you can, reasonably predict when dogs are going to be around. So do that and apply everything that you learn in this video. Then after you do that for a couple days, right? You're implementing, you're going on walks, you're passing dogs, you're implementing everything you learned in the video. You're staying consistent, and you come back, revisit the video, you rewatch it, you say, I think I need to do this a little differently. You come back, you redo it, you take action, and then you come back to the video, right? And you look at the mistakes and you're like, I think I'm making that mistake. And then you go and implement again, okay? So you're implementing, you're applying what you learned. Then after you've done that for a couple of days or a few days, you should start to see results by now, all right? Either your dog's reactivity is completely fixed or it's a little better, but not all the way yet, okay? Whichever one it is, make a post in the community. Go back over to the community tab and update us on your progress, right? Let us know how you're doing. How's your dog doing? What are you currently working on? What are you struggling with? Is your dog's reactivity completely fixed? Not quite yet. What is it, right? What are you struggling with? That way we can give you feedback, all right? Remember, everyone in this section has reactive dogs, right? So join in, okay? Everybody's working through this together and we're all fixing it together, okay? So post your dog in here, update us on their progress, let us know how it's going, and then we can help you out, okay? So that's what your next course of action is. Sound good? All right, so that's what we want you to do now. So now that you know what to do, go and do it. I hope this video was helpful for you guys who have leash reactive dogs.